Hi everyone, I'm Benbrick. I'm here in my London studio with Pro Sound Effects, and today we're going to be talking about production, music, and how they can be creatively combined with sound design to make something even more immersive. We'll be diving into one of the episodes I've produced for George the Poet's podcast, which is called Have You Heard George's Podcast? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is attention to detail. We're really trying to create something immersive, and that means paying attention to every single fade and the way each sound interacts with the sounds around it. We can't afford to have anything that takes the listener out of the moment. That means thinking about some of the kind of admin tasks as creative tasks, and you have to try and enjoy them. So even in this intro design, to make something even more immersive, background noise is kind of bugging me, so we're going to fix it. So if you highlight an area, hopefully with no noise from me in it. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to load up this plugin from a company called Clevgrand. It's called Bruce Free. If I click Learn, so it's analyzed the background noise and then removed it. Now it sounds like this. We'll be diving into one of the episodes I've produced for, whereas before it sounded like this. We'll be diving into one of the episodes I've produced. We're going to look at one 64-bar section in episode 9 of Have You Heard George's Podcast? The episode's called Sabrina's Boy. So the music is going through a speaker simulator, and then we're using DVR Pro to position that sound within the room. So without that on, it sounds like this. And then with it on, it sounds like this.
Oh yes, please.
So as well as moving it, it's added reflections based on the type of room that you're using. So then also to set the ambience in this scene, to make it sound like it's in a restaurant, we've got these two tracks, cafe ambient sound and coffee house. Together they sound like this. And there's not much going on. One is panned slightly, the other has another DVR plugin that's moving it to the left and making it sound like it's in a larger room. There's a moment in this where the person serving George drops a glass on the floor. Let's just listen to that.
Central Park, a quintessential mark where racial tension spark. The song was a soundtrack.
So we really wanted to grab the listener's attention there. If you're listening on headphones, it should feel like it kind of happened in the room that you're in. Yes, we've got a woman gasping. We've got a man gasping. I think George is gasping. With this on every track, we can position all of the different characters that are reacting to the glass being dropped in different positions, not just having everyone on one side. So moving outside now, we've got the sounds of a subway on one side and the street. A lot of the time, George has recorded sounds from around northwest London and his friends and his nephews, and we can use those. But with this one, it's set in New York, so we were actually searching for, ambiences that would make sense. Okay, so this plugin is called Search. It's by Pro Sound Effects, and it's a really easy way to search through all the different sounds that you have. So as well as being able to search for a specific sound, there's also these groupings that are used for ambience, public places, two female voices in a small town bookstore. These Pro Sound Effects sounds are really well recorded, and you can buy either individual sounds or whole packs on their website. This particular collection is Richard King's collection, who is a legend, did all the sound design on Interstellar, Inception, Dunkirk, Dark Knight, amazing. War of the Worlds, Twister. So he's made his sounds available through this, and you can buy a pack. There's loads of different packs. So I spend a lot of time going through these sounds, and I guess it's similar to using Splice and searching all day for the best snare, but now I'm searching all day for the best immersive rain. A lot of the scenes in the podcast come together when we actually add music or sounds on top of the sound design that's already there. So both the pieces of music are hinting at the Across 110th Street theme that's used before, and they are used to help us transition into the next scene. So let's listen to that in context.
It was pure enjoyment and fun between the boy and his mum. Sabrina adored her son, and her son adored his mummy. He couldn't have known the risk that would come with all this money. One day Sabrina never showed up.
So using L on the keyboard, we can loop sounds in Logic, meaning you can loop a sample or a piece of sound design or ambience or music for as long as you want. So with a looped section, I then applied Valhalla Shimmer onto it and used that to help transition out of the scene. So by recording the automation, automating the plugin is a really good way to make seamless transitions. Okay, so we have another section with music here. Let's just listen to the music on its own. And then with everything else.
Mummy was running the streets with the wolves. Anything goes out there, these were the rules. But she was a force. She didn't want any government cheese for support.
So in this section, George is talking about Reaganism and its impacts. And zooming out, the whole story is about 50 Cent. We wanted to create an uneasy feel in this moment.
From the 50s to 60s, the country was comfy, but there was a recession in the 70s, even for celebrities. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you why this is relevant. Because
then we have the piano line on top, which sounds like this.
From the 50s to 60s, the country was comfy, but there was a recession in the 70s, even for celebrities. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you why this is relevant. Because within a decade, an ex-Hollywood...
So the piano is tuned to minus 50 cents, which I thought was appropriate. I've boosted it just so you can hear it clearly. You'll hear how weird and kind of unsettling it is.
But why do you think their pocket wasn't deep to begin with? From the 50s to 60s, the country was comfy, but there was a recession in the 70s, even for celebrities.